want to take up too much time. And since we've done enough of these, hopefully you'll remember, keep yourself muted. So that way I can record this for those who couldn't make it. When you have questions, you'll just type your questions into the chat. Or if he asks you a question, then you can type your response into the chat and Mr. Olivares can check this as well because he needs to. So, really fast introduction. Well, okay, one really fast thing. You should be able to get onto your Google Classroom now and see the country list for your final project. So make sure to get on that at some point today and pick the country of your choice and follow the rules. It's a lot simpler than the years past. So for now, pick your country and start to do your research. And then next week I will show you how to create a Spark video. So remember to keep yourself muted. I'm going to do a screen share. And Brian, if you guys, this is Mr. Olivares. He's at the high school. He teaches English, and this is his beautiful wife. And Brian spent a long time in Thailand. And so he's going to tell you about his experience there and share some really cool things. So it's really helpful if you have your video on so he can see your faces because, like I said a million times, communication is 70% body language and expression. So it's super helpful for our speakers if they can see you. I won't be able to because I'm going to turn off all your faces so I can begin recording, but it'll be helpful for him. All right? All right, Brian, the time is yours.
Okay, let me unmute myself.
And I need to unmute you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Or you can unmute.
Oh yeah, there we go. Hey everybody, how you doing? It's good to see your faces here. I'm glad you're able to join us. As Miss Hazlett was saying, I teach over at the high school. I've been there probably about 6 years. But before that, I got into teaching in Thailand. So I taught over in Thailand from about 2006 to about 2010. And I met my wonderful wife, Bee, there. You want to introduce yourself?
Really, my name is Savini, but in Thailand we have a nickname. My nickname is Phung or Nam Phung, but it's hard for him to say, so he just called me Bee.
Uh-oh, I'm not seeing the info on my slides. Hopefully.
I know, I'm just gonna pull it up on PowerPoint then, and that might just
Okay.
Go.
All right. So, I don't know what you guys know about Thailand. I'm about to share some information with you guys, just some general info. But it's a beautiful country. It's known as the Land of Smiles because of its friendly people. It's got very beautiful scenery, tropical weather, and a lot of outdoor activities. It was formerly known as Siam. I'm probably mutilating some of the pronunciations there, or Siam. Okay, you want to go to the first screen, and I don't know if we can get rid of some of the notes. Ah, there we go. Okay. All right, so I always like to start off with this slide because I think it gives you a pretty good illustration of the cultural diversity in a place like Thailand, which is roughly about 75% the size of Texas, and it's got about 43 million more people. So in the images you can see here, you could see some religious differences with the Buddhists and people that practice Islam. People always ask me about the image in the bottom right corner with the neck coils on the girl there. These people aren't actually Thai. They're from Myanmar, but they live across the border in Thailand. So Thailand is bordered by Myanmar. And these people have kind of been driven out of their country, and the rings protect their necks. At least that's what some anthropologists have hypothesized, right? They protect their necks by making them, less attractive to other tribes. Also protects their necks from, tiger attacks. Also, this slide here, we've got the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page. Now, I think this is a really good analogy because it kind of tells you that if you read one book, right, you only get so much information from that book. and you don't know what happens in the next chapter, much less the end of the book. But if you read the entire book, you have a chance to experience everything there is that life has to offer you. So when I was in undergrad, I had an opportunity to study abroad 3 summers. And I spent my first 2 summers in Spain. And while I was in Spain, I had an opportunity to travel Western Europe as a backpacker. And I see some of your comments. You've been down near that bridge. So this is the image in the center was a small city in southern Spain where I studied for 2 summers. It's called Ronda, Spain. And you might recognize that bridge from the movie Ferdinand, which is a movie about bullfighting. So it's a big bullfighting city. And I love to travel so much that I ended up going to Thailand and studying there, which I'll show you on the next slide, I think. Okay, so just to give you guys a little sense of geography, because people often mistake Thailand for Taiwan, so 2 totally different countries. On the map, you could see Taiwan is a small island off the coast of China. But Thailand is in the center of Southeast Asia, and it's bordered, as you can see, by Myanmar, Burma, Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia. And I always think of Thailand as the shape of it resembles the head of an elephant, with the peninsula going down is the trunk. So it's easily recognizable. It's got about 69 million people. Well, talking about Bangkok, I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it has a rather large population. If you could go on to the next slide.
Oh, I have no idea what just happened. Hold on.
No, it's all good.
There you go.
Okay, so today we're kind of traveling to Thailand, and one of the first things you need to know when you're there is how to at least greet people in the local language. So I know you're all sitting there at home. I can't see your faces, but I want you to try the Thai greeting. So go ahead and put your hands together, like you see Ronald McDonald there in the picture doing. And if you're a guy, you're going to say Sawadee Kap. Girls are going to say
สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawadee Kap. And when you say this with your hands clasped together, you're going to bow your head. Say Sawadee Kap. So it's a good way to greet people, especially in this time, right, when we've got to maintain social distancing. So if you want to say hi to somebody without, giving them a high five or handshake, put your hands together, Sawadee Kap.
What is the symbol of having your hands together like this?
They have on different age though. Like this is for people the same age, like a little bit. But people that younger just do like that if they sweat you.
Yeah.
They have different level of the older people.
Yeah.
So it's a sign of respect then?
Yeah.
And I think the higher you put your hand, the more respect you're
Yeah.
showing somebody. So if you're going to a monk or maybe the king of Thailand, you're going to put your hands almost in front of your face.
If the king have to be like on top of the head.
Yeah, the
put
king.
down on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the monk put around here and put down the ground.
Are you guys able to see us or?
Yeah, they can see.
Okay, good. Yeah, so it just depends. If I was to a student, I'd probably put my hands
Just
down
like that.
a little bit lower, like you see.
Like just like that, just
Yeah.
over here. But if somebody older or you respect, you have to put your head down. Yeah.
So the higher the status, the higher you're gonna put your hands, right?
I know.
So, basically.
Can you say those words one more time or have your wife say them so we can hear it again one more time?
For the lady, say สวัสดีค่ะ
And guys, we would say Sawadee Kap. Okay, so I like to just briefly go over what brought me to Thailand in the first place. So as I said before, I just did some backpacking. I fell in love with it. I love to see other countries and just immerse myself in the culture. And so I signed up for a study abroad course in 2004, and it was through ISEP, which stands for international student exchange program, and I studied at Thammasat University, which is the second oldest university in Thailand. And the program was called Buddhism in Thai Society. So I've got some images to show you that I've kind of included in this PowerPoint presentation of my experience over there as a college student. Thammasat University is in the capital of Thailand, which is called Bangkok, which means City of Angels. The formal name is Krungthep Mahanakhon, and it has an even longer name than that, and I'll go over that with you here in a moment. But just a couple facts: capital of Thailand since 1767. It's the cultural and historical center of Thailand. It's near the Chapia River. Population about 8.2 million. And just to put this into context here so we can compare the size, New York City, which is the biggest city population-wise in the United States, has approximately 8.4 million people. So it's a big city on par with New York City. It's got everything you need. It's got restaurants, malls, entertainments, subways. It's just an awesome place to live if you like big cities.
Do you know, Brian, so that would be like if we took the entire population of Kansas and multiplied it by 2, we could fill up that city, and actually not even fill it up completely, because that would still only be 6 million people.
Yeah, right. I didn't think about the size of Kansas. How many people live in Kansas approximately?
A little less. It's about 2.9 million people
Oh, wow.
in the entire state. Yeah.
Yeah, and all in a country slightly smaller than Texas.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're talking about Thailand, and but the population of Bangkok's pretty big. Another fun fact, in the Guinness Book of World Records, if you're familiar with that, you'll find Bangkok is in there. It's in there for having the longest official name. And, you know, if I were presenting this PowerPoint to you guys in class, I have a video where a guy pronounces it. But I've got my wife here, and she can attempt to pronounce this rather long name for Bangkok. So if you want to give it a try.
Okay. กรุงเทพมหานครอมรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทรายุทธยามหาดิลกภพนพรัตน์ราชธานีบุรีรมย์อุดมราชนิเวศมหาสถานอมรพิมานอวตารสถิตสักกทัตติยะวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์
Take a deep breath. So it holds the record for the longest name of a city in the world. And I've done some research on this. It roughly translates into City of Angels, Great City of Immortals, Magnificent City of the Nine Gems, Seat of the King, City of Royal Palaces, and it goes on and on and on.
Wow. I can include that YouTube link later, so that way they can
Okay.
find it if they'd like.
You guys can just call it Bangkok. Okay. So the flag of Thailand, I always thought is kind of interesting. It was formerly what you see here on the left side. So the white elephant, which is a symbol of good fortune in Thailand. So Thailand has a lot of elephants, but the white elephant is very rare. In about 1917, they changed the Thai flag to the colors that you see over here. To kind of honor the relationship that Thailand has had with countries in the West. And by West, I mean United States and Europe. So you'll see those same colors, red, white, and blue, in flags of countries like, of course, the United States, Great Britain, and France, Russia. And then there's some symbolism there with the colors. So red symbolizes the blood of life, land, and people. White, the purity of the Buddhist faith. And then the blue is the monarchy, and we'll talk about what that means here in a moment. Okay, so just a quick tidbit here about religion in Thailand. So it's 93.6% Buddhism. So this is the main religion in Thailand. If you go to South Thailand, which I spent some time there as well, I taught for about 2 years in South Thailand. Islam is the second largest religion. And you could see that second largest religion doesn't mean much considering that Buddhism is 93.6% of the entire population. I mean, you'll also find Christianity is represented there in other religions, but Buddhism is the main religion. And I've got some images here. You see the monks there in the city streets. Looks like Bangkok. This is something that monks do in the morning, right? So they go and they get donations from people of food.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So as I said previously, so Thailand is what you call a constitutional monarchy. So they've got a monarch or king, right, who's the head of state, but it's more of a symbolic role because Thailand also has a government, a parliament, and they have elections. I think there may be some things going on there right now at the moment that kind of interferes with the elections, but it's a monarchy, so it has a king as the head of state. And the king you see here on the left, that is King Bhumibol Adulyadej. He was the longest reigning monarch in Thailand, so he ruled for about 70 years and just recently passed away in 2016. So now his son has taken over as the new king, so current king of Thailand. And I always have trouble pronouncing the name. Do you want to attempt that?
The name that you have in there is different than I have. They call พระบาทสมเด็จพระวชิรเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัววชิรลงกรณ์
Hey. So yeah, kind of a long name there, but he's the current king of Thailand. And just a quick fact about kind of cultural practices towards the king, which may seem a little strange to us, but you can't talk negative about the king in Thailand. It's actually punishable by law, so you could spend up to 10 years in jail if you were to criticize the king and monarch or deface any image of the king in Thailand. But it's just also respect. If you're visiting another country, you want to show respect to that culture, so it's not something you'd even want to think about over there.
Before we go on, Brian, I just want to say really fast, this is why I think, part of the reason why I like doing these presentations, if students ever travel abroad at some point in their lives, which I really, really hope that they do, I think knowing these little nuggets of information is super valuable because, the way we live over here in the United States is somewhat different in other countries. And of course, you always want to be respectful when you're visiting another country, but you can find yourself getting into trouble for something that you would typically do here that you just can't do in other countries. So that's a really good piece of information.
Yeah.
Thailand is a beautiful country, but you want to follow their rules and be very respectful.
Okay, so this is the currency in Thailand. It's called the Thai baht, and baht, B-A-H-T. And I looked this up last night because the currency always changes. $1 is equal to 32 baht in Thailand. So if you're wondering, if you've got $5, right, you've probably got about 160 baht, roughly. And so you got 100 baht. Doesn't mean that you're rich. You've probably got a little over $3 if you've got 100 baht. 1,000 is probably about how much?
1,000 about 30 something dollars.
About $30. Okay, so you'll be rich if you got a couple thousand bahts in your pocket. Another kind of fun fact about Thailand, and kind of goes on to what Miss Hazlett was just saying about showing respect to another culture. So with the money, similarly, because it's got an image of the king on it, it's illegal to step on any Thai currency. So I looked this up the other day because, as you guessed it, has a picture of the king on it, and the king's face is printed on all Thai currency, including coins. So you could get a lot of trouble if you were to just merely step on any currency. And the Thai currency hasn't changed at all, has it?
No.
No, still has. Yeah, still has.
I think probably I'm not going back to Thailand yet when they change I think probably change the fate of the king.
Okay.
To the Rama 10, I think.
Okay. All right, you can go on to the next slide. So while I was a student there, they took us around Bangkok. They took us outside of Bangkok so we could experience everything about culture and religion. And one of the cool places they took us was the floating market in Bangkok. And it's not really in Bangkok, right? It's kind of on the outer suburbs of Bangkok, or outside of Bangkok
Like
a
a
little
different
bit.
city.
Yeah.
Ratchaburi.
So it's kind of cool because you can get one of these little boats and you can go to the market and you could buy things like fruit and gifts, touristy sort of things there. It mainly served to transport goods back in the day, these kind of canals that run through and around Bangkok. But now they're mostly tourist attractions. You can go on to the next slide. And these are just some images that I took when I was there in the floating market. You could see some of the Thai fruit there in the right bottom right corner.
What is that called? Rambutan or something like that? The one that are spiky?
Yeah, rambutan with the red kind of hairy shell. Yeah.
Those are so yummy. You can actually find those sometimes over at Dylan's
Mm-hmm.
in a little package, and they're really yummy. They're
Yeah,
not
but
as good.
I don't-
Because fresh is amazing.
Yeah, like I don't think they're good like if you're in there because then there's like fresh and like kind of.
Yeah,
Mostly-
I've seen them at Dillon's. They're kind of a darker color
Yeah,
because
kind
as they get older, right,
Yeah,
they
they're
change.
Not, yeah.
They're a little bit drier. So somebody asked the question if you have durian fruit there, and then also this is a good question about the currency. If someone new comes to power, do they have to change their currency and put the other currency out of use? We had somebody from England yesterday, and she says that would be the case. Once the queen dies, then all the currency would begin to be faded out, and they would have new currency.
Yeah, I mean the former king of Thailand passed away in 2016. And I know they kept his image on the currency, so it's not something that happens automatically.
Now they have a new one, but I just have a new one yet because I just been back to Thailand so I don't get the new one yet. But I know you still can use the old one,
Yeah,
and they have a new one too.
yeah. So you can still use the old currency, but they're kind of updating things in it. There's some
Yeah.
lag time in between monarchs.
People collect the old
By the
one
way,
too.
So we got about 7 minutes left.
Okay.
just to let you know.
All right, we'll start wrapping things up here, but this is another interesting slide here, and somebody just asked about durian. So yeah, some of these fruits might look familiar to you. We talked a little about the rambutan there, the hairy shell. It's red. It's got a sweet taste. Some of you may be familiar with the mango, which is pretty common up there in the center. And then on the right is one of my favorite fruits. This is the purple mangosteen. It has a very citrusy taste to it. And my wife tells me, and I've heard from other people, that it's supposed to cool you off as well. So I don't know what the
For
science
your
is.
temperature in your body.
Yeah. And then the durian here, which is the spiky fruit. And you'll probably be familiar with this. I always have students that know something about the durian, but it's pretty big. It's almost the size of a football, maybe slightly bigger.
They have a different size.
Yeah, and they grow on a tree, so you don't want to stand underneath the tree. At least I would be uncomfortable. But what the unique thing is about the durian is that it has a very distinctive smell. It smells like a pair of dirty socks, I think. But it has a sweet taste. I haven't tasted dirty socks, but that's what I am. The smell is what I am. Is the jackfruit, which grows about the same size as a durian. And kind of the interesting thing about the jackfruit, it has a texture like a mango or like a pineapple, but it tastes kind of sweet. Some people say it tastes kind of like pulled pork. I mean, if you flavor it right when you're cooking it. Yeah.
They're very sweet.
Yeah.
My relatives use it in place of meat all the time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you cook it with like spicy spices, right, and flavor it up.
Yeah, but I do with the one that not yellow yet. I do the white one.
Yeah.
The one that not ready too sweet.
I see.
Okay. So just to start wrapping things up here, I do have some more images to show you. We're not going to get through them all today, but As a student, they took us around. I thought this was kind of cool. They took us up to Chiang Mai, which is the second largest city in Thailand. It's in the north. And they took us to an elephant camp, and we got to watch elephants play soccer and paint pictures. And I even got to ride on top of an elephant, which, you know, it doesn't look like a big deal, but when you're up there, it's like, you know, 10 feet, you know, up on top of this moving thing. So it was kind of nerve-wracking, especially trudging through the mud in this forest. But fun experience. If you ever get a chance, you should try it. And I ended up going back to Thailand in 2006 and went to the TEFL Institute. So that stands for Teach English as a Foreign Language. I took a 6-week course. That's me in the center with a tie in the background. And I started my first job shortly thereafter in Bangkok at a school called Santarat Wityalai. And that's me in the left corner there teaching. As you can notice, students wear uniforms. The image.
Maybe tell them how they greet you when you come into the classroom.
Oh, right. Yeah, so in high schools and middle schools, the students stay in the same classroom all day. So it's the teachers that go from class to class. And when the teacher walks in the room, the students all stand up as a sign of respect and they greet the teacher. So in unison, the students would say, "Good morning, teacher. How are you?" And I would stand there and say, "I'm fine, thank you." And they would sit down, and that happens every time the teacher walks in. It's kind of cool, but it kind of shocked me at first.
I think we need to practice that next year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Awesome, Brian. Well, I think that's probably all that we have time for.
Okay.
So, unless you have 2 more minutes to get to your next meeting.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to just cut out so I can do that. But it's always fun coming on here and sharing some things about Thailand with you and your students.
Thank you. If you guys really fast, anybody have any questions before he leaves? Are we good? Because I just paused the recording, so you can ask your question if you need to.
How bad the monsoons?
Monsoon season, the rainy season, how bad does it get in Thailand?
They can get a lot rain
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Rain and hot.
Yeah, think of the rainiest day you can possibly imagine.
Can
And-
go by weeks sometimes.
yeah, just
every day.
non-stop rain. Yeah.
Constant humidity with high heat. That's so hard.
Yeah, they say there are three seasons in Thailand: hot, hotter, and then the rainy season.
No,
Well, that's what I heard.
they have
She's here to fact
They
check
have-
me too.
they have hot, they have raining season, and they have cold season. But cold season is kind of like spring, what?
Yeah, I think cold season is probably 60 to 70 degrees. And I remember one time going into class and I had students wearing beanies and scarves, and it was only about 60, 70 degrees out. So yeah, that's winter.
People in Texas do that too when they think it's cold.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like 60 degrees and
Hey,
people are to be wearing heavy
Sometimes can be
coats.
50.
I like wearing my beanie, and it's cool to wear scarves.
Like-
So
Around border, my hometown in the North Thailand, they can be 50.
yeah.
They can be go
Okay,
down.
yeah, I can get down a little
Yeah,
bit.
they can get down.
Especially in the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming and doing this, and thanks students for showing up for the presentation and being so respectful.
When you say goodbye in Thailand, isn't it the same thing? Sawadee ka. Yeah.
Sawadee ka. Still
Sawadee ka.
Sawadee ka. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you guys.